How's it going, everybody? How is your day? How's your week? How's your life? How are things? We're gonna be working on this Bambu today. Hopefully we can get it running. Let's kind of show where we left off so you guys have an idea of what's going on. Yes, I've had a haircut. For those that don't know, we shaved my head for the Sanjay Mortimer Foundation a little over a week ago. We raised over $6,000 US doing it, and I'm really happy that we were able to raise some cash, and I got really short hair now. I did get it cleaned up at the barber today, so all the logos and stuff, that's all gone. Figured I had to get that done at some point, but yeah, this is Grant with short hair. So none of you guys, I don't think have ever seen it before, but yeah, it's it's been a thing. It's been a thing in my life for a while, but the long hair has been a little over 3 years. So I actually looked the last time I had a haircut, and it's because my barber's phone number has never changed, was June 28th of 2020. So that was the last time that I ever saw my barber, and we got my hair cut December 2nd of 2023. So yeah. Andrew Rogers for the $10 says, wait, you got a haircut? I did. Yeah. It was the most expensive haircut that I've ever had. It was an over $6,000 haircut. But it all went to charity. Every penny of it went to charity, and I am so happy. Thank you to our two big top donors of Joseph Prusa, as well as the Voron design team. And the Voron guys actually beat out Mr. Prusa himself with $1,200 US. And they had a Voron logo on the back of my head. So yeah, this is like the most like tight fade I've ever had, because we took it down to like a 0. So there's actually still little bits of hair because I guess I haven't washed my hair well enough. But yeah, I have done the way too much shampoo in my hand. I've done the pull my hair out of my collar, even though there's no hair to be pulled out of the collar. I'm trying to think of the other stuff. I've been wearing beanies a lot more because a lot of like current clients that we have don't know too much about the hair. So previous to getting everything cleaned up, it looked like I just had really bad alopecia. So I wore a beanie just to kind of cover it up. But yeah, I was gonna try to film Print Fix Friday with the hair all crazy, but ultimately decided not to, and we'll do it with cleaned up hair. So we got a printer to work on. We got a Bambu Lab X1 Carbon. Let's show you guys what we were dealing with last time and why we decided we needed to get some parts. So this is the X1 Carbon. This is an old school X1 Carbon. It's Kickstarter edition, and you can see right there, she's missing a connector. And unfortunately, this board is no longer supported. So instead of just getting the one piece that we needed, I had to get a whole bag of kit here. Someone's asking about the headphones. These are the, not the Open Comms, the Open Run Pros from Shocks. Fun fact, if your head's not much bigger than mine, you can probably get away with the minis, which is what I have. I often wear headphones, but not these. Amber just got these for me for the holidays, but I often wear headphones because my hair is so long that you can't see that I'm wearing earbuds. I can take them off if they're a little weird for people, but this is my first time opening this too. As far as we're aware, we have the single red laser version of the machine based on its serial number and everything like that. This stuff appears to be the same. Looks like we're gonna have to reuse a couple of the connectors, but otherwise, it looks very, very similar. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah. All right. It sucks. I wish I could just buy the one piece this board actually needs, but That is not possible, and it looks like we will have to transplant at least this cable. And potentially there's a ground cable that might need to be transplanted. But if we have to transplant that ground cable, we might actually have to do some soldering here. So who knows? Maybe it'll just be the printer making fun of me the whole time. But yeah, shouldn't that board be in an anti-static bag? You know, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything on here that would require some anti-static, but there is some logic on here. There's a spintrol chip on here. Let's see. Let me move the printer out of the way. And let's zoom in and see how good we can actually get on this spintrol chip. So the chip in the middle of your screen there, that is the spintrol chip. Let's see if I can get it closer. Let's see how close it'll focus for me. It's a Spintrol SPC 1158 APE, I think. That's what it looks like on the screen there. 1168 APE. And if you are just joining us, make sure to subscribe, leave a like. Once you're subbed, you can comment as well, so come hang out, comment with us. Join the chat. We're going to have some fun and hopefully get this Bambu running. Because I would like to have I'd like to have a good experience with these machines. A lot of people are having great experiences with their X1 carbons. I have had, as a lot of you know, less than stellar experiences with these machines in the past. So my hope is to try to turn that around with this machine here. This machine was sent over by a fan because of the broken pieces on it. They did not want to deal with it, and they sent it to me to deal with. So looks like we got some of that silicone glue. We're not going to be using that crap. And people are asking if I have an AMS. Yes, it's right here. The picture-in-picture actually hides it, but yes, there is an AMS here. I should have all the cables and stuff, but it is probably not all in the right areas just because the shop got really busy right before we left for Smurf. And for those that don't know, I was actually gone for 2 weeks. We went over to the Czech Republic, hung out in Prague for a week. Of course, we filmed at Prusa Research. Those videos will be coming after the Smurf video, so there is going to be some continuity issues with all of this. So there will be long hair videos of Grant, like in January. But, and the only reason those videos aren't coming out sooner is that they have to go through approval. We absolutely saw things and filmed things that we can't put in video, and we don't 100% know what those are. So it has to go through the approval process. And for those who don't know how this works, Prusa, and we also filmed at E3D as well. So in both cases, the companies need to approve the videos. They don't have any say in what is edited, how it is edited, or anything like that. They have a say in, can we show certain things? Do we need to blur it, or do we have to make cuts? They don't have any editorial styling that goes into it. That is all up to us. But, you know, trying not to piss off companies, you send them an advanced copy, give them about a week or so to look over it. If they see any issues, they let you know, and if not, the videos go live. So expect those sometime early January. I'm assuming Smurf videos should be coming out in the next week or so, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think it's time just to kind of get cracking onto this machine here. I am sure there are things that I am missing. So since the last time that we worked on this machine, of course, we built the Prusa XL, which is sitting behind me, and that reminds me I need to run some stuff on it. So the XL, you know what, and let's talk about the XL real quick. Let's just move this out of the way here. So the XL, I haven't used it a ton. It's been here, it's been in the garage the whole time. It's been good. I've had some issues with my bed adhesion, but I think that's just me getting used to the satin plate, because I've never used the satin plates before. Yes, I know that's sacrilege. No, I don't care. So this is a file made by my buddy Ben, IPN 3D, I think. So all this does is it just picks up each tool 3 times. So we're lubricating the brass pins that help align everything. It looks like that's going to be one of the big things that people need to do with their XLs, so we're taking advantage of it. My brother is asking what microphone I'm using. I'm using my normal lav microphone. It is the Comica, now it's going to bother me because I don't, Boom XD Pro 2. That's what we use the Comicas. So yeah, T said, Grant, did you hear about the latest new firmware update on the X1? You are going to really miss out on this one. I did. I saw the, what the heck, the motor noise cancellation stuff, but I actually have cool news on that front. I can't talk too much about it right now because it is currently in 0 day. We have cracked the log files, and by we, I mean it had nothing to do with my company. There's a group of people that have cracked the log files. We can see what's in them, and I regret to inform you that I was right, and we are going to be releasing a video on it once these guys have done their proper due diligence in alerting Bambu. Then we are going to go ahead and do a disclosure video on it as well. TLDR. Don't upload your log files. Under any circumstances, don't upload your log files. And if you do have to upload your log files, print something that doesn't have any data in it, or print a Benchy. And whatever 3MF file that you're printing from, that you're sending to your printer, or even that is on an SD card, make sure that you have a clean 3MF file before you send any log files to Bambu. That is as much as I can disclose at this time, but suffice to say, there is some huge security flaws that I have some issues with. The average person might not care too much, but from a business standpoint, I was right, and I'm totally fine with that. But from a consumer standpoint, you might not care. I don't know. Some people will care, some people won't. That one will be up to you guys to decide, but we will have a disclosure video on that at some point in the near future. So if you're looking forward to that, like, subscribe, all those things. Anyways, literally every time I remember, I'm just gonna come over here and just click reprint, because all it does is it just picks up and moves the tool heads. But I've had good success. I just haven't had great success with things sticking to the bed. So, you know, yeah. Filament Frenzy says, I fix all my Bambu machines using a blowtorch and a sledgehammer. I mean, you know, we thought about doing the Florida Man experience by filling this machine full of tannerite, which is a binary thing. It's a binary boomstick, if you will. And no, we are not going to be doing that. God, I forgot how torn apart this machine is. Okay, there's going to be a lot to do there. OMG Frank says, anyone else lagging or dropping frames? No, we have dropped a few frames, dropped 494 frames, but, you know, I don't know. Film and Fred says, all it does is pick up the tool head, all it does. Well, literally, that's all this file does. It picks up and parks the tool heads, 3 for each tool head, and that's just to help distribute the grease. Toolhead number 5 is a little squeaky, so I'll have to figure out why. I don't know if you guys can hear it being picked up, but Toolhead 5 is a little squeaky. I'm sure that's just more on me than anything else, but all right. Let's get this thing in here. Let's try to remember what we need to do, because it has been a freaking minute since we worked on this machine. Gotta keep clear of the glass door so we don't Uncle Jesse a printer. Sorry, Clayton, but I think you should know by now that this is going to be a thing that people say where they don't want to Uncle Jesse something. So, you know what? Hey, if there's something you get known for, that's at least a funny one, rather than people, you know, yelling at you for something else. So, love you, buddy. Hope to see you in the next few weeks. But yeah, we got to go ahead and just get all of our boards set in place here. Now, the thing that is a little interesting to me is that it didn't come with new screws. It would be nice if this machine came with new screws. I'm kind of bummed that it didn't. I mean, for 50 bucks, it's a fair bit for the boards. And it does not come with new screws because you don't really know the, like, I guess the quality of the screws that you took out. Thankfully, my screws are all on the bottom there, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig into this thing here. Alrighty. Jeez. It's been so long since I worked on one of these machines. What's it say? Yeah, you 3D Musketeers something when you shut your head in the trunk. This is an inside joke. Oh, yeah, they're I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Oh, maybe you can. There should be a scar somewhere, like, back here on my head. It's kind of weird to get all that. There should be a scar somewhere there where I shut my head in the trunk of the vehicle I was driving at the time, which was a Jeep, and I needed 5 staples, so... Fun freaking times. Fun freaking times. Anyways, we're just gonna find a hole and plug it in, I guess. We're gonna ask permission first, of course. And of course my phone has to ring while I'm streaming. I accidentally went to answer that, so unfortunately, that's just gonna have to go to voicemail. All right. Oh well. I thought it was gonna be Krusty. Krusty has a thing where he tries to call me every single time I'm streaming just to kind of prank call me. I'm like, oh look, it's Krusty calling me. It was not Krusty calling me. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting some of these screws and things put in place. Forget how tedious this machine is to work on, but I mean, thankfully you shouldn't have to do this very often. This is not something that most people will need to do very often. And you know, I've been keeping an eye on this new A1 that they have coming out, and I mean, it makes sense. I'm a little worried that Bambu is pushing a lot of hardware very quickly. The fast hardware iterations, some people might say that's good. They're moving fast. They're making, you know, amazing things, and they're doing it at, you know, next to warp speed. And I would argue and say, well, they're gonna run out of designs at some point. Now, there might be Bambu engineers that are watching this just kind of chuckling and saying, oh, just you watch, kid. You ain't seen nothing yet. And to that I say, by all means. But I do worry that, you know, the actual designs themselves will start to get a little bit old. Oh, might want to take my watch off to not leak phone numbers. Yeah, you know, that's fair. Yep, we'll go ahead and do that. Hopefully I didn't leak anybody's phone number, but if we accidentally did, none of you know who it is anyways. I don't even know who it is, to be honest with you. It was not a number that I had stored in my phone. So, anyways, I guess I can update on my back as well. I had an injection on Monday when we got back. I had a sciatic injection. We were denied the ability to film at the last moment, so there will not be an injection video on that. Yeah, so my doctor wants to try doing sciatic injections or SI injections. Just to see how that works. He's like, you know, it could work, it might not do anything, but give it a shot and give her hell. He said, don't go easy on yourself, you know. He said, obviously take the first day easy, but after that you can go a little harder and just kind of see how it all pans out. God, this cable's not, this USB-C cable is not going in very easily. Okay, it's just doesn't want to go into its home. It should go in pretty easily, it's just not. You know, I will give it to Bambu. They certainly have a lot in the electronics department. They have certainly built one hell of a tight-fitting machine here. Is that about as good as we're gonna get? Yeah, kind of. Why is this? Like, when it's not plugged in, I can get this USB-C cable. I don't know. That's a weird one. Let me put this down a little bit just so it's a little bit easier for me to work on here. No, maybe putting in all the other screws will just make that one all of a sudden get easier. So, all right, let's find an opening and plug in a cable, right? I mean, that's pretty much what needs to happen at this point. Lot of small cables, lot of small pieces on these boards, but hey, you know, could be worse. Got them all in. And the last one that we need to put in is this cable down there. There is a clamp for it, and yeah. John Olson says, wow, first time seeing new haircut Grant live. Here, John, I'll yeah, there you go. That's high and tight Grant, if you will. Yeah, it's a weird feeling after 3 years, but you know, I am so incredibly happy and incredibly thankful for the awesome community that we have here. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for your donations on the live stream that we had. I am incredibly thankful for each and every one of you, whether you just popped in to say hey, or you were one of the whales that dropped a ton of cash. It's not about the money, it's about the support, and it's about coming together for a cause, and the Sanjay Mortimer Foundation is an amazing cause. I'm finding pieces of my long hair in places. It's kind of funny. All right, let me find the right size Allen. I think it's a 1.5 on these. Yep, it is a 1.5. Okay. Everyone says it makes me look younger. All right, well, I'll take it. Hey, I'm just glad nobody did the math, because if people had actually done the math at the event, they would have been able to take my beard. It was actually right at the end of the stream, like right when we ended the stream, Brooke Friedman came up to me, Zach's wife, and she's like, you surpassed 5 grand. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you actually went over 6,000 if we convert it to US. I said, oh, damn. Does anybody know? She said, no, no one did the math. I'm like, well, I guess I get to keep the beard. Because otherwise, your boy was not going to be able to keep his beard. But, you know, again, it's not about, like, the beard will grow back, the hair will grow back. It was all about just raising money. That's all that I wanted to do. God, it is. This printer, I forgot how difficult these printers are to work on, and I guess I should go back to the overhead with small Grant. These printers are so hard to work on because everything is just at a really bad angle. I guess it might be best for us just to try to get some of the other ones in first. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get some of the other ones in first and see where this takes us. No, that's not Krusty either. I'm getting another phone call and it's not Krusty. It's so funny. Well, I know if I ever want my phone to ring, I guess I have to start streaming more often. Does anybody else ever have that happen to them where they're, you know, you're not busy all day, you know, you're just kind of going about your day, getting stuff done, nothing crazy is happening, and then you get busy doing something else, and then all of a sudden the phone is ringing off the hook. Does that ever happen to anybody else, or is that just a me thing? I feel like this happens to other people too. It must. But also, he might not see it, and I don't think Zach watches the channel, but it is Zach Friedman's birthday today, or theoretically it's his birthday today, so wish him a happy birthday, people in the chat, if you don't mind. Yeah. Zach is a good friend. It was nice to hang out with him a little bit at Smurf. This, I always remember that this USB-C cable was a pain in the ass to route. All right, we're gonna do this USB-C cable last because I think it's just gonna get in the way for me. I need to just get it out of the way so I can get this board screwed in and not have it be in my way. Because my God, it is annoying. Okay. I doubt Grant will buy another Bambu product for now. Yeah, I don't. I don't think that, well, especially after you guys see the disclosure, I don't think that I'm going to be buying any Bambu products for the time being. There are just too many issues with network security on it for me, from both a personal and a business standpoint, but I get that each person is going to have a different set of thoughts and opinions here. So I'm going to obviously hold some of my comments and all that for the video where we talk about it. We show the disclosure and we talk about how it was done, how it was figured out. And if they let me, I introduce the team who did it, but I have a feeling they are going to want to remain anonymous. Just kind of given the nature of the work that they did here, but suffice to say, we can see everything in plain text. And it's not good. That board does not look like it is seated properly. Well, you know what? And I should have probably done this a little bit earlier, but let me go ahead and use the other camera here, just so that you guys might be able to see it just a little bit better, or an attempt to see it a little bit better. Let's see if we can do top down with webcam. Is that good? Is that better? I don't know. And that looks okay. We do have to get this piece right here put in. This is what screwed me up on my last X1 carbon. Or maybe it was the first one. I don't know. One of my X1s needed new parts, and TLDR did not go very well. When the boards came in, they had serious issues with the rubberized coating not being where it needed to be, and there was just, it was a whole thing. This one, thankfully, is going in much easier with a lot less BS. Okay. These cables just kind of hang out there. We have an open connector right there, which I don't think there's anything that you can do about that. So, okay. Alberto Barbosa is asking if I've given any thought to the X1E, and the answer is I have, and I will not be using one. I don't care. Ultimately, Bambu Studio is providing enough information that I would get into a fair bit of trouble. If we used it for ITAR work, it is certainly enough information to violate non-disclosures, and there is no way for you to opt out of it. The only way for you to opt out of the data collection inside of Bambu Studio is to use Orca Slicer and put it in stealth mode. So, yeah, but it is not for enterprise grade security. It is only WPA2. It is not, like, enterprise grade security would be much better than that. And the big thing that the X1E offers, and this is just like from a cursory look, you have physical defeat switches for the Wi-Fi and Ethernet. Great, happy about that, glad to see it. You still can't update the machine offline, so if you air gap it, there's nothing you can do. And it does have a heated chamber, which is nice. The heated chamber is nice. I'd love to see that as an option trickle down into the X1 Carbon, so that, you know, X1C owners that would like to add a heated build chamber could do that. But at this time, I am not interested in any machines like that. So, yeah. You know, take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, my use case is different than most, but I think if you're going to spend that much money on a 3D printer, because remember, it's like $1,000 more than an X1 Carbon. If you're going to be spending that much money on a 3D printer, it has to bring more to the table than just, oh, it can turn off the Wi-Fi and it can turn off the Ethernet, because, like, that's kind of a BS thing, if you ask me. It's like, oh, so you're telling me it can do things that every other printer can do. But anyways, I want to be critical of companies, which I think is important for us to do, but I also don't want to just sit here and just, you know, trash talk companies, regardless of whether or not we believe they deserve it. So, yeah. Without ever having used an X1E, obviously my opinions on it are just from, you know, a cursory look. So anything beyond that is just kind of is what it is, if you will. All right, so we got to get into the other side now. Looks like we have most of this taken care of. So we're going to flip the machine around and get into the front side. I think we've got all the screws on back here. Yeah, looks like it. If I was smart, I would, you know, watch my other video on this when we first took it apart, but as a lot of you all know, I'm not smart. I'm just a regular old guy, just like the rest of y'all. Or, excuse me, like over 98% of our viewership, I am just a regular guy. Or at least the reported genders, according to Google. So, yeah. Let's see here. That has that little keyway. That is good. All right. Let's get this all back together. Ducky says, I have touched an X1E, not very different from the X1C, other than an active heated chamber. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some photos of the inside of the X1E. It's the same basic stuff at the end of the day. It just has the Ethernet with a physical defeat switch. I'll certainly say that at least went a little bit smoother than I was expecting, so I will take that all the way to the bank. Now we have to get the extruder and hot end stuff. And I think somebody was asking about the E3D stuff. I do have E3D Bambu collab parts, so that will happen at some point. That is not going to happen today. If we do get this machine running today, the goal is just to run it plain. God, I gotta figure out where I put all the parts for this printer. That's the fun part of, like, being away for so long. We were out of the country for 2 weeks. Nope, that's how you shatter a piece of glass. Put it down here. No. No, we're gonna put the glass up there for now. I need to find some of, oh, there's the bag of parts. This bag of parts should have everything in it that I need to get this printer back together. All right, we have our front fan shroud. We have the side panel. We have a full extruder, not extruder, full hot end. She's got some gunk in her. That's all right. I'm looking, however, for the extruder. There's the back cover. We'll need that at some point. There's the extruder. We're gonna need the extruder here. I think we took the extruder apart and we saw that everything was okay in the extruder. Part of me remembers seeing that. Domendez, am I saying that right? Dia is asking if I have any plans to build a VZ bot. I am open to the idea, but I have no concrete plans at this time. So I want to get a Voron built first, just so I can get kind of my feet wet in these kit style 3D printer builds. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm kind of open to building whatever. But I want to get a Voron built, and to do the Voron, I have to first get this thing done, because the Bambu is what is supposed to be doing the Voron build. Like that, the goal was that my Bambu, or a Bambu, I guess, would be printing off all the parts for the Voron build. And unfortunately, we have had less than stellar experiences with that so far. Had a lot of issues with my previous Bambu printers. However, here's hoping that we can turn that ship around. You feel me? All right, these appear to be the screws that I need. These are labeled extruder, so these should be the screws that I'm looking for. Wonderful. I need to get a different head for my Allen key. 3DHP is asking if I'm going to be updating the thumbnail photos. Yes, at some point. I just kind of have to get some time where my calendar and Amber's calendar sync up, and it's not crazy late at night, where we can do some thumbnail photo shoots. It was a lot easier to do those on my own previously. Oh, I just got a quick phone call. Is that gonna be Krusty? No, it's not. Huh. Are people just figuring out that if you call the shop number, it rings my cell phone? I feel like that's what people are doing right now. But whatever, I don't care. I forgot how difficult these printers are to work on just because it's so dark. Lime H says, if you overlook the security, are the Bambu Lab printers good and worth it? I don't know. I haven't had a good experience. I know a lot of people do, but I haven't. So the vast majority of people, I think, would say yes. And, you know, if it works the way it should, I think I could say yes. but I currently don't have one that works as it should, so I can't exactly give you a yes or a no on that. Sanjay says, hey Grant, loved your live stream at Smurf, love your hairstyle. Now our beloved Florida man straight up went from tech Jesus to MMA fighter. Glad to be here alive. It's almost 3 a.m. at my place. Brother, get some freaking sleep. Jeez, 3 a.m. You sound like me. Get some freaking sleep, buddy. Get some freaking sleep. It feels odd because it's like our community doesn't value sleep in the way that honestly it probably should. And it's a little dangerous for a lot of us to be working the kind of hours that we all tend to work, myself included. I am absolutely a guilty party in this. You know, so guys, take care of yourselves when and where you can, please. All right? Please. All right, that goes something like that. Right? Yeah, that goes something like that. Looks like it's going to use the smaller screws. Ashley Williams says I look like a skater punk with the new hair, like Printer Jesus. Yeah, you have Tech Jesus. You got Gamers Nexus. He's got great hair. Steve has got amazing hair. Steve Burke, I think is his last name. Absolutely great hair. My hair was okay. I think the big thing for me was that I never cut it. So it was never like, it was never properly cared for outside of just like, you know, the basic shampoo and conditioner every now and then. And I think it's because I take myself very literally a lot, and that might not be the best thing to do. When I said that I wouldn't cut my hair until my back was fixed, I just didn't cut my hair at all. Probably not the greatest advice, but you know, whatever, we're here. So, all right, let's find where all of these pieces go. That goes there. Okay, you're the thing that goes over there. Hot end. Do we have a reasonably clean hot end? What size are you? You're a 0.4. You're a 0.6. Now there's some gunk in this hot end. Is my blowtorch out here? Oh, it is. Nice. All right. Yeah, we can clean it out with a torch. I need a pair of cutters or a pair of pliers. That'll work. Oh, never mind. That didn't work. All right, we just cut the filament flush. Whatever. Good enough. Good enough. All right, hot end goes in. Ah, dang. Did I do this wrong? I might have. I don't. Oh no. I'm good. I need to get the cutter in place, which I didn't have in place yet. There we go. Now the cutter's in place. Now we're good. Now we're cooking. Whoops, hot end falls off burner. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. Whoops. Ooh, we have a pin that just pulled out over here. Shouldn't be that big of a deal to get back in, but we did just have one of the connectors fall apart on us. Again, this printer came from a fan, so like the status of it is very much unknown. All right, we rebuild that connector. We did rebuild that connector. Wonderful. All right, let me get the right screws for that. I think it's these. If only fixing back issues was as easy as a haircut, Mitch says. Oh, dude. Feel that in my soul. God. But you know, since the sciatic injection on Monday, I'm feeling all right. I mean, it's not without its issues, right? There are some issues here, obviously, but certainly we're feeling a little bit better, so, you know, I'll take it. John Wilson says, just tuned into the stream and I thought I clicked the wrong video, forgot you shaved your head. Yeah, I think that's going to be weird for people for a little bit, especially those that are like new to the channel. We probably need to pull the footage because we recorded my head shaving in 4K, so we probably should get that video up pretty quickly and just kind of get it up as just a different, you know, it's just a regular video. That way people can kind of get the idea and what happened. I probably should have recorded some thoughts while my hair was still messed up, but I didn't. So, oops. I gotta figure out how all this goes back together. I think this goes like this. Yeah, that feels okay. It feels okay. Yeah. All right. That looks all right. Oh, man. Joseph Grinder says, off topic, how loud has your XL been? I got mine a couple of weeks ago, and there are certain moves that are very loud. Check your belt tension. And then check how tight the panels are. So there is going to be some resonance on those metal panels. I've seen some people use foam tape to quiet that down. I haven't had any major issues, but I've been out of town, so I haven't had a ton of print time on the XL, which hurts my soul because I have like outstanding business for it. I just haven't had a ton of time to work on it. In fact, just got a PO in earlier. We got like $500 in work that is literally the type of work that I bought the XL for. So Sonic says, wait a minute, how is your hair color brown? I thought it was black. Nope, it's brown. It's always been brown. You're not used to seeing my scalp at the same time, and you're also not used to seeing all the gray that's intermixed now. Gray because of all the BS I have to put up with. But yeah, this is the new me, at least for a little bit. I'm sure we're going to end up doing something else. But I don't know, maybe I don't know if I should let our Patreon choose it, but I don't know, maybe we'll have fun with the hairstyles for a little bit. Kind of try some out, see what works and what doesn't. What's the worst? We cut it and shave it down again? Like, what's the big deal? It doesn't matter to me. Clearly it doesn't matter to me. And while I won't be able to get a $6,000 haircut again, at least be able to have a little bit of fun. But no, it was a pleasure and an honor to have my head shaved at Smurf. It really was. And we talked about it over the weekend, that if you are trying to do fundraising, it is always good to have a crazy, crazy thing. And shaving your head is certainly something that gets people's attention. There's a screw back here that's not aligning. There it goes. Oh, no, almost. It'll fit. It'll work. Trust in the D-Gens for a haircut. No, I'm not going to be doing that. I have a panel gap that didn't fit right, but for the purposes of what we're doing, I don't think it matters all that much. It's just a little gap. As long as the screws go back in, I think ultimately that's all we're really worried about right now. So we want to test this machine. We want to see if it works. I know I'm not the only one that wants to see if this machine can actually work. Okay. That doesn't feel right, but I'm going to ignore it for right now and just see. Kind of just put everything there. This piece of tape is irrelevant. All right, so theoretically, I should be able to turn the printer on at this point. Because I've had good success with it, we're going to run the Honey Badger plate. I've had really, really good success with it recently. When we had X1 carbon, I quite like the Honey Badger plates. Put it on that side. Now the Honey Badger plates do not have the little scan thing on them, but that's going to be what it's going to be. So I'm going to turn the printer on and we're just going to see what happens here. Silicon Legion says, anyone cracked the log files? Yes, they have. We will have a video on it soon, TM. Give those carbon rods a quick wipe. Yes, we will be doing that. I just want to see, does it turn on? It does turn on. It's not throwing errors. Can maybe run a benchy or something on it. Let me also see. This is running firmware 1.04.01. I don't think we've ran this thing through a factory reset, so I think that's probably the right move to do first, since this is not my machine. I've also noticed that the PTFE right here is absolutely just obliterated, so I'm going to be replacing the PTFE tube right here before we do anything. I think it is probably a good idea to just factory restore this machine, which is what we're going to do. So while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and change out the PTFE. English. We're gonna skip Wi-Fi, network unavailable, I don't care. Wants us to do the end user license. I think if we disagree, yeah, it's not gonna let us do it, so we have to agree to the T&C. This is the thing. We kindly request your help to improve everybody's printing. Deny, 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 deny. Deny. do want to make sure the heat bed is unlocked. It appears to be. I'm going to hit next, see what happens. Calibration is going to take several minutes. That's okay. Let me find the right length of PTFE, otherwise I'm just going to have to make my own. Great. That is the right length. Yeah, for those who don't know, Tarzman is my brother. That's my identical twin brother. Yes, I do have an actual identical twin. Is the thing. Sorry, I wanted to get this right because the machine is going to go through all of its calibration steps. So let's calibrate. Should probably put the glass panel on it too. This PTFE tube seems very long, but whatever. Bruce says, don't forget the new noise canceling firmware dropped recently. Well, unless we can get it so we can update it on an SD card, we will not be installing that firmware because we can't. We can't. So we have ITAR restrictions here. This machine cannot go online. We have not only identified it as a threat, but we have confirmed the threat suspicions, and therefore this machine will remain offline indefinitely. So Hagontic says, like the hair, Grant, may the force be with you in your quest to cure the curse of the X1 carbon. Yeah. Oh yeah, now it's shaking like your bedside table. Let's go. All right. Oh, man. I can see that it's getting rid of all the noise. The noise canceling is actually doing pretty good with it. Hagantic says, wait, you confirm the info in the encrypted log files we have. I am awaiting the guys that did it. They have to do their responsible disclosure. Once they do it, then we will have disclosure as well. Skate Soup says if this doesn't work, you need to seal it in X1 carbonite and pitch it off the nearest dock. If this doesn't work, I'm actually going to see if we can find a range that will let me put some tannerite in it. Because, yeah. He's asking if I'm going to print without the AMS first. I don't know. I mean, we can if you want. Ashley Williams says that I need some C4. I don't have the licensing for C4. However, tannerite you can buy at the local stores here. So if we go Florida Man on it, it's going to be with tannerite. It is not going to be with anything other than tannerite. Silicon Legion says I got a P1P used and I plan on doing some heavy mods with leftover electronics from projects. I want to try to load completely custom software and free the printer from Bambu's ecosystem. Well, you might want to keep an eye out for when the responsible disclosures come out from the guys that figured it out, guys and gals that figured it out, because you might want to talk to them. Ducky says hard to get C4, tannerite is easier to get. Literally, I can drive 10 minutes and have buckets of tannerite for way cheaper than it should be easily accessible. But welcome to Florida. We can do that kind of thing. But If we do that, I will have to get like a special license because it's for commercial purposes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and as SJC says, remember, if you can see the shrapnel can see you. And from last I checked, shrapnel is smarter than me. Things might have changed since then, but you know, my hope is that we don't have to Florida man this thing, but you know, Florida man is always an option. How many people we got here hanging out? It looks like we got a bunch of people here hanging out. That's 124 people, but only 44 likes. What the hell? That needs to be fixed. We can do better than that. We can do way better than that. Sanjay says, the heart in me is hooked to this stream, but the brain in my head is saying, get your head on the pillow. Hey, this is going to be a public stream as soon as it's done, so you can always come back and watch it. It looks like time code for it's right at about 1 hour deep. So if you wanted to come back, you could. Okay. Theoretically, we should be good to go. Do I have any filament out here that we can use for a benchy? I must have some bamboo filament inside. I'll have to go see if I can find some real quick. I say we print from the AMS. There's really no point. Oop, I forgot to put a piece in. There's, in my opinion, really no point in going easy on it by printing sans AMS. I think a lot of people would like to see it with the AMS. I will say I do have a talk with the CEO of Bambu in Europe, Cedric. We met at Smurf. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to like chat and talk, but I've got a digital meeting with him next week, so that one should be fun, unless he wants it to be recorded for some reason. Out of privacy concerns, we will not be recording that meeting, so just so you guys are aware. Regardless of what people think about me, I do heavily respect others' requests for privacy and that kind of thing. And I think it's important that when you have the opportunity to respect one's privacy that, well, you do it. Why do I have more cables than I think I need? Whatever. All right. 6-pin Molex to 6-pin Molex. Ooh, that one's all kind of messed up, isn't it? Okay. Into the 6-pin Molex, and then we have the 4-pin Molex, which I do a little bit differently than the way that Bambu wants it done, but it really ultimately doesn't matter all that much. Oh, I hit the I hit the button for the table. That's funny. All right, so the AMS is on. Let me go find some bamboo filament, and yeah, we'll see what we can do for this. Give me just a second. Just get this printer moved out of the way. I will be right back. It should be right inside. But give me 2 seconds. Let's see how fast he can find his spool of bamboo PLA. There it is. Got it. All right, while that's doing its thing, I should go get some spray to clean the bed off because it's been out in the garage for a while. And yes, these are things I probably should have had before we started the stream, but I didn't. So I'm gonna get it now. For those that are curious, I just use a generic glass cleaner. There is nothing all that crazy about what we do. I think it's going to ask to have the cool plate installed. I don't think we're going to do that. Unless we're like 100% required to have it. All right. Don't worry. I will change the camera angle so you guys can see it. AMS has a little oopsie. What's wrong with the AMS? AMS is fine. Does Bambu make their own filament, or is it white labeled like most inland filament that's actually eSun? Inland filament is now Polymaker. I don't know. I actually don't know. So, yeah. Andrew Rogers says, I'm sure it's been discussed, but can't you set up a separate guest network specifically for situations like this? Keep it sequestered from the rest of the shop, as it were. You cannot. ITAR is very specific about these kinds of things. Once you identify a product as a threat, it must be treated as a threat, fully quarantined until you are able to validate via confirmation or denial if the device is a threat. At that point, you can decide what level of threat security you're looking to have. And for me, you know, no chance. Oh, is there no PTFE on the back? Son of a diddly. All right, yep. See, he forgets things. I'm a human. Where is, I had a bag of PTFE. I guess we'll filament all over the place, so I'll take it. But yep, totally forgot the PTFE in the back. Totally forgot about that. You know, the funny thing is the machine, stop hitting the table, Grant. The machine did not tell me that. That is really interesting. All right, we'll go ahead and load one and we'll see if it loads. Now, the hot end was a little messed up, so I don't know how it's gonna look. I'm also gonna go inside and grab, I have a light panel that we normally use. So I'm gonna grab my light panel as well so you guys can see what's going on. This one might take me a little bit longer, but it shouldn't be that bad. And the light panel should help you guys see inside a lot better. Ah, cool. It is loading filament. I just have a generic little panel light, nothing special, but it makes seeing into the printer a whole lot easier. And so now when I change you guys over to the webcam, you can actually see into the printer a lot better. So that's great. Let's see how it's pooping. All right, we were able to purge out that old material. Probably want to purge it a little bit more just to be safe. Just get some of that materials flushed out of there. I'm assuming it's going to yell at me for the cool plate. We will see. Yeah, I don't know. Audio is in and out. Is it really? It shouldn't be. If the audio is in and out, just go ahead and refresh the stream. It should kind of solve the issues that you're having if you're having any of them. All right, that should be good enough. It will want the cool plate. Okay, fine. Do I have a cool plate laying around? I might not have a cool plate. I'm sure I've got, let me see if I've got my, well, let me see if I have a cool plate. Give me a second. I know I've got my memory card for the Bambu right here. So that's my, I have my old memory card with me. But yeah, I don't think I have a cool plate. All right. I would bet that on my memory card, which this is my memory card from my old Bambu, I would bet that on my memory card I've got, by the way, it is a, it will focus, it's upside down, but it's a Samsung, there, a Samsung Pro Endurance, 128 gig. I know I've got to have a Benchy on here somewhere. There's no reason that I wouldn't have one. While we're doing that, since this bed does not have the labels, we're going to turn off AI monitoring because it's not going to work. And we're going to turn off detection of build plate position. Hey, you know what? We'll turn on AI monitoring. I don't think it's going to do anything, but we'll turn it on. People say ludicrous micro SD card. Because I have no clue what's actually on here. There's nothing about, well, I mean, there kind of is. There's a mini grant on here. Yeah, internal only has their Benchy. Well, you know, if I turn off flow calibration, I wonder if that's going to work. Well, we're going to print their Benchy and see what happens. And just let me see what I can do about giving you guys a better angle here. It's probably about the best angle I can give you. Zinda says they just finished making the stealth press heat insert. I want to do one of those, especially with the upcoming Voron. I'd really like to do that. But yeah, I think first we're going to stick with doing one of the stock things from Bambu. I'm just going to remove that off myself. I should have wiped down the carbon rods, but I didn't. This machine didn't have a lot of hours on it when we got it, so it should be okay. Now realize this is a textured build plate, so things might not go right. We're just gonna literally do what we can do. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you print their pre-sliced bench, you gotta manually set the bed to 60C. Great, I will go ahead and do that. Good to know, thank you. The internal speed Benchy is bad for the printer. I printed about 10 of those in my first machine and it damaged the smooth metal rods. Well, why is it dumping out the filament? It's pulling the filament out of the AMS. Ooh, it's angry. There it goes. Okay. T says I should clean off the carbon rods with some alcohol. Do I have alcohol out here handy? I don't. Oh, no, I do. Let me see if I can do it real quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it real fast, but let's see what I can do. AMS is struggling anyways, so. Why is AMS struggling? I have no idea. All right. Hey, look, it's struggling. Oh, the camera fell. Camera fell. Here, I'll put the camera back up. The printer is refusing to feed, it looks like. Yep, printer is refusing to feed filament. I'm just saying, you guys watched all this. Ah, it was not getting through was not getting through there. I think we cleared it. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, it wasn't feeding properly. It's not looking for another color. It just wasn't feeding properly. Fun times. Fun freaking times. But yeah, we went ahead and wiped down the rods, so those that wanted the rods wiped down, they got their wish too. And yes, the poop chute was constipated. I don't know if it is anymore, but you can do a manual, what is it? Like a manual decompaction, I think is what it's called. There's a thing. There's a medical term for it. If Amber wasn't working, she would tell me. Ludicrous mode, not yet. I want to get it printing first, then we can look at turning it up. It's just doing its wiggly thing. So it says the internal temp is 25°C. Let me see what the temp is out here. So it's 20°C in my garage right now. By the way, the max in the past 24 hours is 34.8°C. And the minimum is 10°C. And for you Yanks out there, that's a max of 94.7 and a low of 51. It's currently half a degree off of nice. I gotta clean up back here. It is a freaking disaster. God, it's dirty. The shop is just dirty. I'm gonna raise this up a little bit so it's easier for me to see things. Also, I'm noticing that some of these video cards are kind of glitching a little bit. Oh well. It's actually glitching a fair bit. Yeah, sorry the webcam is super glitchy. It's got to be the these crappy non-Elgato whatever camera link things that we use. I can't afford to put like $300 of Elgato cam links out here because of how humid it is, so we just use like cheap $10, $13 ones. And it means sometimes they're not great. Sorry. But yeah, the ambient humidity out here right now is 74% ambient humidity. It's really humid. And I will point out that it is the middle of December. T says, Jesus, why don't you get a dehumidifier? Because this is an unair conditioned garage. Well, it is air conditioned. It's just not hooked up right now. Because I don't live here. This is my garage. Like, this wall is the wall to my house. My house is like in the 50% ambient range, but this is just outside. You can't dehumidify the world. Jay Vorick says, aren't you missing the UK weather? UK weather was rough, man. Actually, I'm missing Prague weather. It was so pretty in Prague. We got like the winter wonderland experience. It was snowing some days. It was pretty cool. Prague was beautiful. If any of you ever have a chance to go to Prague, I highly recommend it. Also, the exchange rate's insanely good. No Spike Mike says, do you have a snowblower ready for winter? It doesn't snow here. So no, I don't have a snowblower ready for winter because it doesn't snow here. Oh, that's Jazz. Hey, Jazz, I'm live streaming. What's up? No, you're good. Figured you were just calling it to hang out. All right, can I call you back after I'm done streaming? Okay, Jazz says sorry, everybody. Jazz is a friend of mine. All right. She also says kisses and ta-ta. See you, Jazz. All right, we're just waiting for the printer to go through its thing. Yeah, we have we don't have snow. I'm near Tampa, Florida. We don't have snow here. So yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn up. We're gonna turn up the temperature to 230 so we can make this thing run faster. And yes, we're going straight for ludicrous mode. Because why the hell not? Let's get a better camera angle on this. Can the camera focus? We'll find out. My God, it shakes the whole damn table so much. I might zoom out a little bit just so it has some chance of focusing. I forgot how insane these things print. Jeez. No Spike Mike says I was in Bradenton 2 months ago. That's about an hour and a half south. I'll be down there on Friday. We got to do a scan down there, so we'll be doing it down there. T says, imagine this printer ends up being flawless and Grant falls in love with Bambu. Hey, if it happens, it happens. I am open to it. I guess I should probably do more tool changes on the tool changer. Does this mean it works? Yeah, theoretically, that means this printer works. That's cool. We did get it rolling. God, these printers are insanely fast. Also really freaking loud. Jeez. When you don't have one of these things for a while, you forget, one, how loud they are, but two, how just freaking fast they can run without any impunity at all. Tej Redrun says, any suggestions with keeping the data on it private? Don't connect it to any internet. Run Orca Slicer in stealth mode. Factory reset your machine and turn off data sharing. And SneakerNet. Now you're gonna have to do it via SD card. That's the only chance you're gonna have of keeping your data safe. Gone too long since you'd be amazed at how the silent firmware update is. Well, if I could update it, I would love to check it out, but I can't. So. But yeah, if you are worried about your printer sending information to places that you don't want to have it, take your printer offline. Take the slicing computer offline. There's no reason that your machines that deal with this kind of data should be online. So, yeah. Like T says, you can put it on a separate wireless network too and use a computer that does not connect to the outside world. That separate wireless network would also not be able to have any connection to the outside world. So it would be a separate VLAN, but with a completely separate network that is not connected to a regular network that has internet connection. You would not want it to have any internet connection whatsoever, period. God, this thing is loud. Well, so far it is working, so we'll give credit where it's due. Guess I should get my cell phone and take a photo of it printing. You know, that, hey, we actually did get it running. It's funny, my camera's telling me to clean my lens for a better photo, but the lens is clean. The printer's just moving so fast. Geek Toy Box says that's not a separate VLAN, that's a separate LAN. Thank you for that correction. I'm gonna go ahead and just post, because at this point the printer has started printing on its own, so I think that it is only fair for me to go to Twitter and show that we have it running. And I'll even tag Bambu in it, which is what I did. Why is the AMS at an angle like that? Because there's a light. If I turn off the light, that's what your view looks like. So if I turn the light on, you guys can at least see. But yeah, there's a little panel light. Normally I have something here to bring the AMS up a little bit, but it's still inside. So. Man, these things move. Poor table's gonna have to put all the screws in more. Geek Toy Box says Grant has a working Bambu. What does the world come to? Hey, look, there's still time left here, man. This thing has made one print. All right. OMG Frankie says I would connect it to the web, get the update, factory reset after it's updated, and leave it off the network. I can't do that, but if you factory reset it, it's going to bring it back to whatever firmware it had from the factory. So, yeah. Switch the printer light on. It is on. The light for the printer is just really, really bad. Yeah, so if I turn off my light, that is just the light from the printer. And I promise you there is a light running in there because I can go here, then I can turn off the light. Now you can't see anything. That is the light from the printer. That's why I have this extra light panel. T says factory reset rolls back firmware. Are you sure about that? I am relatively sure about that. Let's find out. A factory reset should roll back firmware. If it's an actual factory reset, it would reset it to specifically what factory settings it came with. I don't know if this one did, but it's still running the same firmware before I reset it. So, yeah, factory reset should reset firmware. He says it usually wipes data but keeps firmware. Interesting. Oh, I didn't know that. But I can't update my machine either way. Unless the guys that have hacked these machines have a version that I can sideload via an SD card, wink, wink, because I know some of you are here in the chat right now. I will not be able to update my firmware. Oh, it never resets firmware. Okay. Sorry, didn't know. Didn't know. That's on me. That's on me. Reset firmware would be weird. Oh, well. All right. I'm apparently the only one that thought that was a thing. I'm sorry. We're continuing to lube our Prusa XL here. They put out a maintenance bulletin about the pins on the XL, so. Mitch says, don't I have two? No, this is the only Bambu that I have. How many people we got here? 114 hanging out, 71 likes. We can get a little bit closer to that, I think. Yeah, this is my third Bambu. This one comes courtesy of a fan. They might want it back. I don't know. If they want it back, they can have it back. I mean, it's up to them. It's technically their machine. So Daniel Deslandis says, what was the problem that you solved to fix it? The toolhead board was completely borked, so we had to put a new toolhead board in it. Queso Builds asked if I'm in the new GTA trailer. I'm not. That would be funny, though. That'd be really funny. Ashley says, I don't see the point of the A1. Either get an Ender KE or a Prusa Mark IV. I think that the price point of the A1 is going to be really, really good. Bambu has been very aggressive with their pricing strategy since day one. And while they even said they wouldn't make any more bed slingers, they've clearly made more bed slingers. And the A1 is going to solve a problem of people that don't want an Ender, but want something that can do multicolor. I'm expecting it to probably be around the $550 to $600 price point. David M says, what happened to your curls? I got a $6,000 haircut for charity, homie. It was awesome. It was awesome. Is it Kaylin? Kaylin asks, how's the Cheaty working video? Soon the Cheaty is working great. In fact, that reminds me, I have to mail off my hot end. It is not going to Cheaty, and that's all that I can say about where the hot end is going. Those of you that know companies that we work with, this hot end is going to a company that we work with. Geek Toybox says, if it is stock firm without any of your logs in it, maybe it's the perfect time to connect it to the internet and update it before you banish it to the no-WAN land. Nope. That's not how this works. That is not how this works. This is not how this works. I'm sorry, Dom, but that's not how this works. Oh, look, people can put 2 and 2 together of where I'm mailing a hot end to. Yeah, this is the hot end from the Cheaties. I actually really like the Cheaty hot end. The fact the nozzles are replaceable and it's basically the same mounting system as a Bambu. This would be kind of cool. T says, Grant, what is the difference between someone else updating it before they sell it to you versus you updating it yourself? The difference is one of them is on my network, and one of them is exposed to my network, and the other one isn't. So that's the difference. The difference is one of those two things is illegal. The other one is not. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Still doing your thing here. All right. It's got some problems. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to go to the overhead cam and we're going to bring you in. It's interesting how this is the orange. This is Bambu's orange, but it doesn't look very orange on the cameras. So definitely have some pressure advance issues. We can actually see that there's some damage up here. Yeah, take a look at that. Take a look at that edge right there. You guys see that? That's not right. That's not right. Something's not happy with this printer. I don't know what it is, but something's not happy with this printer. Now, I did turn off first flow calibration, so maybe it's just the last time its flow calibration was right. That could be why, but I turned it off because you're supposed to turn it off with a textured build plate. So, yeah. OMG Frank says we can't convince him to do any sort of update, so he won't. It's because I don't want to go to federal prison. I understand that you may not understand how ITAR and CMMC work, but please, and I'm going to tell you guys one last time, unless you understand how ITAR and CMMC work, don't come tell me what to do with my machines. I am not risking going to federal prison for a 10-year minimum sentence with a $250,000 per incident issue with data loss for this kind of thing to update a printer for a YouTube channel. You all aren't worth federal prison to me. I'm sorry. That's not how this works. Anyways. FJ Prince says it was printed in 17 minutes. What do you expect? I have benchies that are printed faster than this that look good. In fact, oh, is it not here? It must have fallen. I've got benchies like this is another. This should be another. Where are we? There's another Bambu benchy that doesn't have that issue. I can put a smooth plate on it and see. It also looks like we were running a little cold. Eh. But yeah, sorry guys. If you don't know ITAR and CMMC, please don't. You know, yeah. Please don't try. If they'd allow SD card update a firmware, he'd do that, but they don't, and due to his business requirements, he cannot put it on a network without surprise handcuffs. Skate soup, that is the perfect way to describe it. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have bearing chatter on your smooth metal rods? I don't know how to check that. Bruce says, Bambu says you have to recalibrate after the machine has been powered off. We actually did a full factory reset, so that's not going to be the issue. And as part of the factory reset, you do the recalibration. But yeah, I can toss a smooth plate on here if we want to do something else. But yeah, they say not to run that first layer cal and all that on a non-smooth plate. Let me go grab a smooth plate, and that way we can give it a fair shake. And you know, because honestly, I don't want that to be, you know, the experience. I want to try printing something else and see how it goes. So let me get my other honey badger plate. And before people yell at me for using non-stock build plates, you know, kind of is what it is. I much prefer these Fabrico honey badger plates over other plates that I've used. I have not used Bambu's own plates. Fabrico did send the honey badger plates over to me. I did not pay for them. I have enjoyed them. Actually, most of the build plates that we have, we got via the channel. And even the fan that sent the printer for me to, you know, fix and all that actually sent a Wham Bam plate with it. I actually already have a Wham Bam plate, so I don't need another one. But yeah, FJ Prince says, can you use Prusa Connect? I don't know if that's the one that runs local or the one that doesn't run local. I don't, but the one that runs local, theoretically we could, but I don't. We are full sneaker net here. We don't use Wi-Fi on anything. It's not a risk that I want to take, so it's not a risk that I take. I'm gonna change out the material as well. Let me see. I got some material inside I can use. These are things where Grant should be much more prepared than he actually is. And he's not, but that's okay. I'm not perfect. Oh, poor Victoria. She's just sleepy. She's so sleepy. I gotta find a way to, like, get Victoria out here more often. I don't know how. Ooh, this filament is a little brittle. That may not be good. Filament just broke on me. We'll try it, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's see what happens. So threw in some Zealtech filament that I have here. Supposed to be in PLA. We'll do flow calibration, time lapse, AMS. Yeah. Sure. This is a mini Grant and Victoria. I have no idea if there's a brim on the mini Grant or not. If there is not a brim on the mini Grant, there's probably not a chance that it survives. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Will using a non-stick steel plate void a warranty on the Bambu? I have no clue. Hobby Hand says, my problem is why Bambu won't allow you to do it. It bugs me. What are they hiding? Well, you're gonna find out, because we know what they're hiding. I didn't hear any rattling from left to right, so I don't think it's that, but yeah. I think the only issue that people are having with Prusa right now is that their Wi-Fi speeds are just abysmal. And you know what? Honestly, that's a fair criticism. When you're buying a machine that's XL expensive and you have to use binary G-code to make it have a reasonably fast update time, yeah, I get it. You have every right to be upset. Nathan Builds Robots. So Kaylin's saying, Nathan Builds Robots made a video about how Bambu is cutting people out if they constructively criticize their products. Apparently Bambu said that NBR didn't fit their brand image. So he reached out to me to get my opinion on all of that, see if I wanted to be in the video, and I said, you know, I don't really have anything to add to that video, because that's a hit piece of a video. There's no reason. I told him, I'm like, dude, I can't provide you with anything, right? Bambu doesn't want me in their list of content creators and influencers because I haven't been very positive about them. From a business standpoint, I can get that. I can totally get that. But, you know, he can be mad all he wants, but it's business, baby. It's ultimately, that's just the way life is. Anyways. Troy J says, we know what they're hiding. Did I must an update with the whole log thing with Bambu? You haven't missed it. We are awaiting the people that did actually crack it to make a responsible disclosure. Once they do that, we will have a video that goes out. So, SkateTube says, Grant does a voice for a character who is an old friend of Trevor who Additive manufacturers pews and also gives some Florida man side quest in GTA 6. Confirm or deny. That would be absolutely hilarious if that was a thing. It is not, but I would totally do that. I would absolutely do voice acting for that kind of thing. That'd be so friggin' cool. Sparlex says, problem with these companies 3D printing aren't that they're not networking companies. Chipsets used for wireless aren't all the same. Using a cheap IoT chip, you get crap experience. And see, the thing with Prusa that I like is if they do make a hardware revision, theoretically, it's just going to be a one thing that you need to replace, and that's it. And yes, Rockstar, slide into those DMs. You want a Florida man that does additive manufacturing that would totally be down for doing like a side quest with 2A 3D printing voice acting. I would be totally down, and we would do it right. I would absolutely do it. Honestly, I just want to add that I was in a video game as part of my resume, so like I'd do it on the cheap too. I am popular enough for Bambu to know who I am. For those that don't know, there was an instance with the older machine that we had where they refused all service because I was not willing to provide a log file. So I said, all right, give me my money back. Take the printer back. I don't want it. Give me my money back. And then they said, oh, we see that you're on our list of KOL, which is key opinion leader. That's your influencer category for companies. And then they tried to make everything right, but at that point, it was too late. And that kind of stuff doesn't fly with me, so it didn't. Zach Smith said, the hair's been fixed. Yes, Zach, we fixed it earlier today, actually. So, yeah. If you paid attention in the company Discord, you would see that. But yes, yeah, I got my hair fixed up. The barber was actually really excited. He's like, yeah, I was showing my girls all about it. As he's got 2 girls. He's like, I was showing them. They're like, Dad, how are you gonna fix that? And he's like, the same way I've been paying the bills the past, 20 years. I'm gonna do my job. And yeah, he took before photos, he took after photos. I had him take some after photos with my phone too. He did a great job fixing it up, so I'm really happy. But yeah, the hair was all crazy until today. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Paint It 101 says they are dodging me right now with my return. Was bought 2 weeks ago. If you are not getting the service that you need from a company, that is what a chargeback is for. Don't go throw them around willy-nilly, but if you're not getting the service that you are requesting from a company, that is literally why chargebacks exist. So if you need to do it, do it. Straight up. Something on the inside of this printer. I got to clean the glass on this printer. So this one has all the settings and stuff turned on. It's going to do the calibration and that kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. I am curious to know about how many, what the percentages of people that have Bambus that have good experiences versus the percentage of people that have Bambus that have had experiences like I've had. I'd be curious because I don't know if that percentage has gone up or gone down. If their QC and QA has gotten better or if it's gotten worse. But I will say every interaction that I've had with staff members from Bambu in real life, they've been great people. And they like to riff on me. They're like, you're not going to get mad at me, right? I'm like, no, dude, I don't care. I like people. Well, I don't really like most people, but I don't mind interacting with people. If I have an issue with a company, that doesn't mean that the people that work for the company I have a problem with. You know what I mean? So, yeah. All right, I have no idea how these pieces are going to come out. This was like the last thing that was on the micro SD card for this machine, so we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. Speaking of companies dodging returns, Zach ordered a Dyson V11 as a Christmas present for his parents, only for it to show up without the stand. 3 weeks later, still no return label despite asking 3 times. Credit card chargebacks. That's what they're for. Sorry you're going through that, brother. Joseph Grider says, I wonder if the Wi-Fi speed is more to do with the speed between the Wi-Fi chip and the USB stick. It has to go from the Wi-Fi module through the mainboard to the LCD to the USB. You know, I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that question. You know, there are people complaining about it. I'm like, well, it's not something that I can ever talk about because I'm never going to use it. So it's not something that I can actually talk about. So far, this machine is doing what I'm expecting it to do, so that's good. Bruce said he just got his camera warranty, but super grainy when printing high-speed temps like high temp stuff like ABS. I had that issue on my last X1 Carbon. They were great about that. Like, no log files. They wanted some photos, no problem. They wanted a time lapse, no problem. I have all that stuff. It was all fine. No issue at all. I will say, the thing I've always liked about Bambu is that test pattern. It's nice to be able to see it every time. I wish I, as like an end user, could understand it a little bit better because they really don't give you an opportunity to understand it. It would be cool for us to be able to better understand it, but it is cool that you can actually see it do it. Okay, great. The Mini Grant does have a brim on him. It's funny, this is long-haired Mini Grant. I guess I have to bother Wexter to see if I can get one with shorter hair now. I don't know. Probably just leave the long-haired one. It's fun that way, you know? It was actually really awesome getting to meet Wexter in person. We got to meet him in person at Smurf. We talked with him. I don't think I ever got a photo with Wexter. That sucks. Oh, I did get a video of... I got some Wexter specific videos. I was gonna say what the video is, but it won't make sense to people that don't know Wexter. Yeah. Ducky says if you like, you can check out the Rubido project. Works very similar to the Bambu Micro LiDAR. And they explain how it works very well. That's cool. Eduardo says the X1 Carbons simply work. I have had very, very different experiences from you, obviously. Mr. O says, mate, I have to say your hair looks good like that. I think it actually suits you better, buddy. Yeah, look, here's what I'm going to say to people. Stop validating my mother. My mom has been bothering me for years to cut my hair, and... yeah, she was rejoicing, I'm sure, when we were shaving it, but... G is asking when the Smurf videos are coming out. Probably starting next week, I'm assuming. I honestly don't... I don't know yet. I don't know yet, honestly. Through the experiments, asks if I've caught a head cold. No, I've had a cough. But I had a cough before we got to the UK, so I was more post-nasal drip related, but I know like Nero got the human malware. So far, I'm okay. I'm just kind of dealing with a little bit of a throat cough. Ash says, I've seen long-haired Grant, ponytail Grant, now short-haired Grant. Ponytail Grant was my favorite. But did you see Pigtail Grant? Did you see Pigtail Grant? Because we had Pigtail Grant show up for Smurf. They put my hair into pigtails so we could cut it. Let me pull up Pigtail Grant. Man, there are a lot of photos in my phone. Holy crap. Did you ever see Pigtail Grant? Because there's Pigtail Grant. Yeah, that was funny. Here, I'll show you guys. We went over to France for 36 hours. So we went to the Louvre, and yes, I'm wearing a camera. So if you've never been to the Louvre before and you want to walk through the Louvre with Amber and I, that will be a video only for Patreon. We climbed the Eiffel Tower, all 674 steps. So there's that. If you guys want to see that, that is also going to be a video on our Patreon. We had a wonderful little macaron. Paid way more than I wanted to, but you got to have a macaron at the Eiffel Tower. Yeah. There's a lot of the trip that I will tell you, there is over a terabyte of footage that is not going to make it to public YouTube. So, yeah. Shout out to Danner Boots, John says. I actually wasn't wearing the Danner Boots most of the time for that bit, but dude, those were awesome. Those boots were freaking awesome. He says, I can imagine his mom saying, you look so handsome, Granty. Honestly, that's not far off of the fact, so I'm going to give you that one. You can totally have it. Oh, so Ashley said that they meant Pigtail Grant. Okay. Did the print stop? Nope, print is still going. Eduardo says, I have over 2,300 hours on the X1 Carbon with no problem. That's a lot of time. Excuse me. Troy J says, Sanjay's sister was so cool with me. Yes. Sanjay's sister was an absolute doll. She was awesome. Yeah. Spurlock says, Miss Victoria approved of the trip. Victoria was a little bummed, but she was glad to have us back. T says, how do you calculate the hours? The printer will actually tell you how many hours. I wonder if this one will tell me how many hours. I forget where it is. There's a way to check it in the menus of the printer. I just forget where. Device info, maybe? Yeah, yep, it's under device info. So this printer's been used for 1,074 hours. So, yeah. You go to the little hexagon one, you go to general, and then you click device info, and you'll be able to see it there. That's also where you can opt out of the user experience improvement agreement, and you should opt out of that. But yeah, the Europe trip was awesome. Huge thank you to Printed Solid for sponsoring that, because we would not have been able to go to Smurf without Printed Solid. And honestly, I don't think we would have been able to raise the amount of money that we did without Printed Solid. So thank you. Thank you to Printed Solid for that. Let me see. What other fun photos can I show you guys? Oh man, some of the amazing food that we had. The meat pies in the UK. What else? I don't know, man. It was a great trip. It was a great trip. Those of you might have ever printed it, but that's the Winged Victory, like the real one. It's cool to be able to say that we've seen it. And yes, all of that is fully recorded, 4K. Oh yeah, there you go. Here, there's a MakerBot in a museum with, of course, you know, 3D printed pews in a museum too. Some cool utilizations of 3D printing in a museum. That was cool. Also, the Herman Miller Aran in a museum. I think this was the British Museum, maybe? That had a Herman Miller Aran. It's the desk chair that I use. It's beautiful. Love it. We went to see Les Mis. That was fun. Didn't record that, obviously, but yeah. It was cool. It was a really, really great event, and I am so thankful that it was possible. Oh, here. There you go. This will be something that people might want to see. The astronomical clock in Prague. We recorded that as well. I mean, there's tons of videos of that, but we have some videos of the astronomical clock in Prague. Some photos that I would normally put on Twitter, but I don't because of security reasons. That's looking through binoculars to the alpacas and the sheep at Prusa. But because we went to Prusa before going to Smurf, I don't like to tell people where we are and what we're doing, so yeah. Andrew Roderick says, the British Museum is wild. One day is not enough. Even see half of it. And that's true. I laugh because what is the British Museum? The British Museum is the world's largest museum of theft. That's all that it is. What is it? It's all their plunders from lands that the British Empire has owned. It's funny. It's looking okay so far. VMJR says, with your hair, you can pass for Bradley Cooper's brother. All right. I don't know if you're part of the group that has been saying this the whole time, but there have been so many people that are like, oh, it looks like you're related to Bradley Cooper. I'm like, I don't see it, but I'll take it. I will certainly take it. And yes, I did see Lord Poshington. He was great. Looks like she's running and she's pretty happy, so certainly going to put this thing into service and see what we can do to it. Bill and Census, who is Bradley Cooper? He was in The Hangover. But you can Google Bradley Cooper and find him, I'm sure. We're running 230C on the nozzle, 65C on the bed right now. Fabrico Honey Badger plate. This is Mini Grant and Victoria, the Zoomy. I don't know what version of the Zoomy this is. And here, I'll give you guys a little bit of a better view of the printer. It's doing pretty good. Certainly not going to complain. I will say the thing that was the craziest for me was that there were only 2 days in 2 weeks where I walked less than 5 miles, and those were the 2 days of Smurf. For a couple of days, multiple days, we did over 10 miles a day. And then there were a couple of days where I did over 16 miles a day. Hi, Amber. Amber's here. Everybody say hi to Amber. Amber's working right now. Hi, Amber. I hope you're doing good. Andrew Rodder says, weirdly, my favorite thing I did in London was hitting up ye old Cheshire cheese. Stone floors, they had ruts worn in them. We didn't do that. Our time in London was kind of odd. And a lot of that was just because we were dealing with the trains, because the trains were striking. There's a whole thing with this. We got stranded at the Reading train station on our way out to Oxford, and the Diamondback guys came and rescued us. We were at Reading for like 5 hours. Like we got stuck. The train stranded us there. And the Diamondback guys were freaking awesome, came and picked us up and drove us up to Oxford. So A+, the Diamondback guys are just super freaking awesome. My brother says, get back to work, Amber, and her response is, you're not my real dad. So that's an appropriate response. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What's your take on the XL? There is an XL5 toolhead back here. I do like it. I just don't have a lot of time on it. In fact, I need to. I'm running a lubrication cycle on it. And you know, so far the machine's been running great. I don't have any complaints about it. I've personally had issues with bed adhesion, but I think that's more about me not knowing how to use the satin sheet very well. But there's a multi-material print. It's PETG with PLA. And the PLA comes right off. It's just really warped. So I got to learn more about that. I'm not going to blame the printer. That's obviously me not understanding. Yeah, I don't have any complaints about it so far, but I also don't have a ton of time on it. Amber says she has to go. Bye, Amber. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you later. Tips for running PETG high speed, high temperature. If you are running the Bambu X1 Carbon, E3D just came out with an Obsidian high flow for it. That would be a great option as well. Yeah. Wayne says the Matrix is glitching pretty hard on this side of the continent. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, PETG is tough to flow fast because of how viscous it is. It's a very viscous material. You know, where ABS is like 1.07 grams per cubic centimeter, PETG is like 1.27 or so, but it's also very sticky. So it's difficult. It is difficult. But yeah, high flow systems where the filament is broken up into sections and then put back together is a great way to get higher flow with PETG. But you are going to definitely have some issues with running PETG high flow. That's just normal. Also, if you're running high flow and high speed, why are you not running like an ASA or an ABS? I'm curious, because like ABS and ASA are much better for high speed, high flow applications. They just are. They run better. So. Ooh, the Bambu didn't do great on the bridge on the Zoomy. There's a bridge for the hat that I just saw. It didn't do great on that bridge. Interesting. Might be running a little too hot. I don't know. But yeah, hey, it is running, so we have that going for us, which is nice. It was fun to be away, but I'm kind of glad to be back. Honestly, I'm just glad to be to see Victoria. Otherwise, I would probably look at moving to Prague. The food there was so good. The public transit is amazing. I mean, gosh, we rode public transit the entire time while we were in Prague, and it was a grand total of like $12 for the 4 days. It was easy. FJ Prince says, will the Victoria model be public? I don't know yet. I don't know if we're going to leave it for fans only or we're going to publicize. I haven't 100% decided what the plan is there. I feel like if I want more people to see it, we just got to publicize it. But at the same time, I have like well over $500 invested into building that model. So there's part of me that wants to see the return on the investment and all that kind of thing. So yeah. Vicky says that they're running a heavily modded Ender 5 S1 on Clipper. They don't have an enclosure for ABS. Okay, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. T says, so no Grant rants today. No. I mean, we talked a little bit about the network security stuff that we found out from Bambu. And if you want to call that a Grant rant, you can. It's just more of a very quiet disclosure at the moment. Yeah, I wanted to get the machine running, you know? It's not about... Everyone thinks I just hate Bambu and that I'm just kind of crapping on the company. But yeah, I don't know. I actually just had some people, I had Simon DM me some photos. If you guys have photos with me from the event, tag me on social media or DM them to me. I'd love to have a collection of photos from fans from the events. Whether you did the before hair and after hair Grant or whatever it was, would love to have, you know, kind of a collection of those photos. He says, well, I wish you luck with this one. Hopefully you have a better experience and can one day update via SD card. Here's hoping. Here is hoping. Vicky White says, is it cheating if you just print everyone Christmas gifts instead of buying? Wait, you all don't just print things for people for the holidays? Because that's what I do. I actually want to find some really cool multi-color or multi-material prints for the XL to print for people for the holidays. I think that'd be a lot of fun. No Spike Mike says, gotta go. Thanks, Grant. See you later, No Spike Mike. Enjoy. Paint It 101 says, nah, just want functional product and normal support would be nice for the price tag. That's the thing, right? The Bambus are in, the X1 Carbon specifically is in a weird price point where you're used to getting really good support and Bambu just doesn't have that at the moment. So, yeah. Kali says, does this mean that the Trident will get built? Hopefully. For those that don't know, I'm going to thank Kali personally right now. Kali gave me a bound manual to build the Trident, and it's like it's custom printed and he bound it. It's really, really nice. And I made him sign it because I said, if you put in all that work, I'm going to pull the Sharpie out of my pocket and you're going to sign it. So that will be the manual that we use to build the Trident. I got to figure out what parts I still need to print for the Trident because I'm sure there's quite a few still. But then, yeah, once we have all the pieces printed on the Bambu, then we will go ahead and get building on the Trident. Which is about damn time because I've had it since like April. It's been a while. Caitlin said, I left a comment on one of your Filament Friday videos asking how I can submit a printer and have not gotten around to sending it. Oh, but the printer I want to show was an older Ender 3 that I'm repairing for someone whose motherboard had a nice meltdown. Yeah, we've recently had a bunch of people requesting us to do like firmware updates and stuff on printers. I don't do that kind of stuff. It's too risky for me from a business standpoint, and it's just not something that I want to really be doing for people. It's not my deal. Oh, Paint It 101 says the yellow gear has a flat spot where it'll always clog when they start a print. Yeah, you can replace that yellow gear. It's just a it's just one of the extruder gears. Zombie's asking if this was the burnt board Bambu. It is a new set of Toolhead boards, and she's up and running, which is great to see. $50, not too bad overall. It's nice to see those parts are available. I'm glad that those are available. I wish I only had to buy the one board that I needed rather than a whole set of boards, but whatever. Ajax is asking why the AMS is doing a wheelie, because I have a light in there, and if I turn the light off, it looks like crap inside the machine. So there's a panel light on top of the AMS. So that's why I got a little bit of the Carolina, what the hell is it? It's not stanced. Crap, what's the guys that have the trucks all backwards? What the hell are those called? That's what this thing is. Squat, yes, the Carolina squat trucks. Yeah, the AMS is squatted. Oh, so Painted said it came out of the box that way. That's a bummer. And if Bambu's not helping you, that's when it's time to get your credit card company involved. I'm sorry, but that's life. Love it or hate it, it's life. Let's see, we're at 90 people here hanging out. Appreciate everybody here hanging around. The Grant crotch looks okay. I mean, it was supported, but, you know, looks good so far. Well, look, I don't know if it makes sense to continue just dragging this thing out, so I think it might be the right time for us just to call it here. It looks like we have the machine up and running again. Just needed some new parts. We had it rolling in what? A little bit over 2 hours. I'll take it. That's not too bad. Is there any questions that anybody has about Smurf, about this machine, about anything that we're working on right now? I'll happily answer them, but yeah, we'll have to, maybe we'll end it a little early here. Ajax asked if I was able to clean up the haircut. Yes, I got everything cleaned up earlier today. So I obviously have to do some testing on the Bambu to see if she's ready for prime time. But yeah. Kali asked if there's any more info on the Bambu log files. I cannot provide the info that I know at this time. Zombie says you're going to try to update the firmware. The new mode is crazy good. If the guys that have cracked it are able to get me one that I can sideload via the SD card, sure. But I'm not going to federal prison over firmware, so probably not. I don't care. It is what it is, man. So far, it's actually looking pretty good. So, no complaints. Mr. Rose says they try to cancel their order. They never reply. The printer's being delivered tomorrow. Just refuse the delivery. They'll get sent back. Zombie says, yeah, fair. Would have to be on another network. No. This machine has been in our facility. It must be quarantined indefinitely. That's how ITAR works. Skatesy says the problem with moving to Prague is it starts with great food and public transport. Then one day you find yourself doing a Grant rant about cinematography and where Jack, I don't know who that is, went wrong. Well, I want to go back during the spring at some point because I'm told it's beautiful there. Vicky says, can I update it at somebody else's house, or is American law strange? The laws that I have to abide by are strange. The laws for ITAR and CMMC are strange. If you don't do government work, it's not something that will ever be a problem to you, but suffice to say, if you are updating your Bambu, if your Bambu is on the network and you are sending log files to Bambu, you are giving out a lot more personal information than you might think that you are. So, just something new. Bruce says, nice hanging out with y'all. Gotta go later. See you later, dude. I wonder if I could put, what's the difference between a Bambu hot end and a Sheety hot end? It's not much. Freaking not much. Those hot ends are really similar. And I do have that nice new one from E3D. I have the new hot ends from E3D that we get to try out. Zombie says, so I can buy a Bambu pre-updated then. Yes, I could buy a machine that was pre-updated. Yes. But it would have to come from the factory updated. We couldn't buy it secondhand updated because we couldn't validate the system via secondhand. Kaylin says some routers allow devices to be blacklisted. You could just update, then block the printer from access to the network. But if it's reconnected, it might just send everything. That's the deal. We don't know exactly what it's sending, but we know it is sending data. We know what it's sending for the logs. So. Didn't the guy you bought it from update it while he owned it? It's on 1.04.01. And unless I can update it via SD card, that's where it's going to stay. Skates2 says, how long into the life of a company do you go from they're trying to expand customer support, but they're growing really fast to their customer support is crap? That's a tough one, right? Bambu is growing very, very quickly. And we talked about a little bit earlier that their expansion and how fast they're coming out with new models is both amazing to me, but it's quite likely damaging to the community as a whole because they are going to have an influx of support ticket issues, be them people that have issues like I've had or people that just don't know what they're doing. And that is going to overflow their support. Now, are they able to work through it? I don't know. At what point do we go from, you know, they're growing to they just don't care? I don't know. Right? But coming out with a new printer, what, they came out with 3 printers this year? That's a lot of machines, man. That's a lot of freaking machines to come out with in just 1 year's time. So, I don't know. That's right. The last Inventors Council meeting is tonight, but it is in person only, which means I will not be attending because it is 35 minutes each way, and I don't want to drive that far for a meeting that I'm not getting paid to go to. Cool. Well, overall, I'm pretty pleased. This is good to see that it was just 50 bucks worth of boards and we got it up and running again. All we had to do was just replace the entire Toolhead board assembly and she's running good. Andrew Ryder says, until you can sneaker net the firmware updates, hard pass on Bambu machines for me. I do wish they would let us do it. You know, and if they need to verify that everything is signed, that's fine. I'm not gonna argue that they want to make sure that their firmware that are put on their machines is legit. Like, I'm never gonna argue that. But at the same time, I want to be able to update it offline. So, JT3D said, just tuned in. Is it still a lemon? This is a completely different machine. It was not a lemon. This one did have a problem with the fan that had it. They sent it to me for repair, and I don't believe I'm having to send it back to them. So, this one printed out a Benchy. The Benchy came out okay, but now we're running a file that I sliced. So we'll see how it works. T says my motors were running really hot after the latest Bambu firmware update. So the motors on the Bambus will always run hot. The machines print very quickly, so there's not much that you can do there. Because the faster your machines move, the higher amperage you have to give the motors. The the harder it's going to be for them to work, right? Now, does their new, like, you know, noise canceling firmware and all that have any impact? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, their stepper motors have always been really hot. Zombie says hot motors are fine. It's the drivers that need to stay cool. Good thing they don't actually use real stepper motor drivers. Bambu uses an H-bridge. So they're actually using an H-bridge of either MOSFETs or IGBTs to drive their steppers, which is very unconventional. But that is why you have the noise that you have. You're hearing H-bridge noise from the motors. So they're likely just changing the way that the H-bridge functions, or its frequency at which it functions. Or they're modifying the way that it sends current. Bambu runs the motors at 24 volts, 1.2 amps, Ducky says. That's, whew, spicy. Yep, they use H-bridges and the Spintrol MCU to control the motors. That's correct. A 2168, I think is what it is. Spintrol 2168. A little bit of stringing there, but that could just be the filament being a bit damp. Custom driving solutions allows Bambu to do things like active motor noise canceling, which is cool. I wonder if this was always like a planned thing they were going to do, and they sidelined it to get the machine out faster, and they just pushed out in firmware updates, similar to how Prusa's been kind of doing similar things where they push a machine with not the greatest firmware, then they make firmware updates to it that make it a, you know, really good machine. I don't know. Could be. How does an H-bridge differ? It's a different way of sending the signal to the stepper motor. So instead of a dedicated controller, you're effectively running a system that would be used to control like a brushless DC motor. Basically, custom stepper drivers exist. Big Tree Tech, BQ, Hell Marlin. I mean, there's thousands of them out there. Bambu decided to use an H-bridge, likely because of its ability to work with the Spintrol MCU that they chose. So, yeah. Troy J says, interesting idea. I think DJI plays music with their BDC motors. Yeah, and you've been able to play music with stepper motors for decades. I mean, I remember doing it on my old 3D printers. We used to rickroll every single time the machines would finish, it would rickroll. Alan B says the stepper drivers have H-bridges inside. But the Bambus are like bare H-bridges. Like you can physically see the H-bridge. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go and call the stream here. Appreciate everybody coming out, hanging out, enjoying. Thank you to those that have hung out, stuck around. I'm glad we got the machine rolling. I obviously got to beat the ever-loving crap out of it. And good thing, because I've got a lot of Voron pieces coming at this machine here relatively soon. So Voron build hopefully soon. TM, stay tuned for that. Get subscribed if you haven't. Thank you all for coming out. It looks like the new hair is well liked amongst everybody, so we'll take it. But yeah, anyways, everybody, enjoy your evenings, your mornings, whatever time it might be. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one.